I was sitting in my small downtown apartment late one night, half asleep in front of my laptop, going through quarterly reports, when my phone buzzed. Instagram. My sister Melissa had posted something new. I opened it, and my chest tightened. There she was, Melissa Carter Hayes, smiling big and bright in a luxury resort with my parents on one side and her husband Ethan on the other. The caption read, "Family vacation without the burden. Finally, some peace and relaxation with the people who matter. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag family time. No drama mama." It already had hundreds of likes. And just like that, my stomach dropped. I knew exactly who the burden was supposed to be. Me, Lauren Carter, the forgotten daughter, the problem child, the unsuccessful one. As if that wasn't enough, my mom commented, "Perfect family time." My dad added, "Best vacation ever." And my brother-in-law, Ethan, "No toxic energy equals best energy." I sat there staring at my cracked phone screen, reading those words over and over. Everyone looked so happy. Everyone was included. Everyone except me. Now, to my family, I've always been a disappointment. They think I'm broke, unsuccessful, and living a dead-end life. And honestly, I let them believe that. They see my little apartment with secondhand furniture, my old car, and takeout boxes scattered around. They don't see the other side. The side with the multiple monitors glowing in my home office, displaying real-time data, occupancy rates, revenue streams, property acquisitions. Because while my family thinks I'm just scraping by, the truth is, I built a hospitality empire. Summit Haven Resorts International. Properties in 4 countries, luxury resorts, boutique hotels, exclusive retreats. Estimated value? Around $1.9 billion. Yeah, billion, with a B. But to my family, I'm still the failure daughter. So, when I saw Melissa's little caption, "Family vacation without the burden," I didn't cry. I didn't get angry. I smiled because I knew exactly where they were. That expensive resort in the background of their photos? One of mine. Sunset Shores Resort, Maui. Presidential suite, 7 nights, price tag $47,000. Paid in full. By my parents, apparently. I clicked a few buttons in my property management system, scrolled through the guest list, and found their booking. And in that moment, I made a decision. Let's see how their perfect family vacation goes. The next morning at 6:15 a.m., my phone rang. It was Mom. Her voice was high and panicked. "Lauren, something terrible has happened. They're kicking us out of the resort." I sipped my coffee. "Good morning to you too. What's wrong?" She went on about how the manager had come to their suite and said there was an issue with their reservation. They had to leave immediately. In the background, I could hear Melissa crying like it was the end of the world, Ethan yelling at someone, and Dad barking about how he knew people in high places. I kept my tone calm. "That's terrible. Did they say why?" Mom sniffled. "Something about a flagged booking. They won't explain it properly. Lauren, we already paid. We don't know what to do." "Well," I said slowly, "maybe try booking somewhere else." Mom groaned. "Everywhere's sold out. It's peak season." I sighed, pretending to be sympathetic. "That's awful. I really wish I could help." And then she said the thing that nearly made me laugh out loud. "I know you would if you could." If I could. As if I was powerless. As if I didn't own the entire building they were standing in. Sure enough, 20 minutes later, Dad called. "Lauren, we need your help." What can I do? We need money. Another resort is available, but it's $60,000 for the rest of the week. $60,000? I repeated. Yes, but this vacation is important. It's our anniversary, and Melissa and Ethan's 5-year anniversary. We can't just go home. Dad, I said carefully, I don't have $60,000. Maybe ask your boss for an advance or a loan. Just this once, Lauren. I glanced at my laptop screen where Sunset Shores showed a daily revenue of $340,000. My boss was staring right back at me. I forced a little hesitation in my voice. I'll try. But, Dad, why didn't you invite me in the first place? Silence. Well, Lauren, he finally said, you know how Melissa feels about certain things. What certain things? Your situation. She didn't want the vacation to be stressful. She wanted to relax. I am immediate family, I reminded him. Of course you are, but Melissa thought your financial struggles might intershadow things. My existence. A burden. Again. That's when I stopped playing nice. Because what Dad didn't know was that the computer glitch wasn't a glitch at all. The reservation was flagged because I had flagged it. And now, while they scrambled and panicked, I had my assistant pull the staff reports. Turns out, my family hadn't just been excluded for fun. They were legitimately awful guests. Noise complaints, Ethan harassing bartenders, Melissa posting negative reviews online while still staying there. The staff had already started documenting everything. In other words, they weren't innocent victims. They were entitled jerks. And now they wanted me, their burden, to pay for them to keep being entitled jerks somewhere else. I let them stew for a while. Then, when Dad called again demanding answers, I dropped the first bombshell. Actually, Dad, I know why you were kicked out. What do you mean? I know someone in hospitality. They told me you were written up for multiple violations. Noise, harassment, false reviews. That's ridiculous. Really? Because Ethan was reported for inappropriate behavior at the pool bar, and Melissa posted 3 negative reviews about the resort before you were even kicked out. Silence. That's not how it happened, Dad muttered. It's exactly how it happened, I said. And you want me to give you $60,000 so you can do it again somewhere else? Lauren, that's not fair. What's not fair is being called a burden on Instagram while you sip champagne at my resort. There was a long pause. Wait, Dad said, your resort? And that's when I finally dropped the bomb. Dad, I said, leaning back in my chair, do you even know what I do for a living? He stammered, something with temp jobs, office work? I laughed bitterly. No, Dad, I run a company, a hospitality company. It's called Summit Haven Resorts International, properties in 15 countries. Mom gasped in the background. That sounds nice. It's worth about $1.9 billion, I said flatly. Dead silence. Finally, Melissa broke in. Wait, are you saying you own this resort? Yes, Melissa, I own Sunset Shores. You were kicked out of my resort for acting like spoiled, entitled children. And then you called me, the burden, asking for money to go ruin another vacation. The phone was so quiet I could hear them breathing. Lauren, Melissa whispered, I had no idea. Of course you didn't. You never bothered to know anything about my life. They begged. They apologized. Melissa cried, saying she never meant her caption that way. But I wasn't in the mood to hand out forgiveness, so I gave her conditions. Delete the negative posts every one of them, and post a public apology. Admit you were difficult guests. Admit the resort was right to remove you. That's humiliating, she wailed. Not as humiliating as being dragged out of a resort for bad behavior, I snapped. Those are my terms. Take them or leave them. And she did. Within hours, every negative post vanished, replaced by a half-hearted apology that got a fraction of the attention. Over the next weeks, my parents tried to patch things up. Mom even sent me a handwritten letter with an old photo of me at graduation, saying how proud they once were. It was a start. Melissa and Ethan, though, they moved to Florida not long after. We barely talk. She sends the occasional card, filled with apologies, but the damage is done. And me? A year later, I bought a small resort in Vermont. Not for business, for family. I called it Burden's Rest, because that's what I was to them, the burden they left behind, until the day they realized I was the one holding everything up.